In this tutorial, I would be 3D modeling this isometric figure in SolidWorks. I have drawn these three axes X, Y, Z for reference purpose. Now let's view this isometric figure in detail. I can break down this part into two main features. That would be the overhanging hollow cylindrical feature and the rectangular base. So let's get down to business. We will start things off by designing this base. So let's create a new part. Creating a new sketch in the front plane. I like to start by creating a center line or a construction line. As we know that the base is rectangular, so let's draw a rectangle first. Now I'd like to give it some reference. Select the first line, Control hold, second line, and the third line, and I'll add a relation as symmetric. Now I like to add some dimensions. Let's refer the dimension. As you can see that this rectangle is 56 in length, 18 in height, and 75 in depth. So let's give the dimensions. The length was 56 and the height is 18. And if you're wondering what's the units is millimeters. So as you can see that the sketch is not fully defined, it's not fully constrained, so we need to give another relation. Control press the origin and I'll say that they coincide, and as you can see that the sketch is completely black, it means that it's fully constrained. We can exit the sketch, go into features, extrude bow space, and let's see what's the depth. Depth is 75, so we'll say that depth is 75. As you can see in this figure, it's somewhat isometric from this particular midplane. So taking help of that isometric feature, I'll say that this particular extrude option, I can select the midplane. You may be wondering why I have not made this cutout feature in the bottom. That feature can be added in the last. So next we will go into creating this cylindrical tube. Now for that we will select the top plane, create a sketch and go to normal. So as you know, we need a hollow tube, so drawing two circles. So the circles coincide. So the concentric circles. I will create another construction line. And I'll create this particular feature over here. Now let me give it some relations. Control hold, select the construction line and the other line, and I'll say that they're symmetric. So as you can see, that's very much symmetric. As you can see, I need to get rid of these lines in order to make it a complete solid. So here, now I need to give it some dimensions. So from the center of this particular cylinder to the leading edge over here, the dimension is 100. Let's dimension that. From the leading edge to the center of the cylinder, this is 100. The diameters are 22 and 36. So diameter is 36 divided by 2 for radius, and this diameter is 22, and this particular thickness, so the thickness is 12. Now we can exit the sketch. Since the sketch was fully defined, we will go ahead and extrude this particular sketch. Let's see what is the height of the extrude. So height here given 63, so let's say that the height is 63. Now let's draw this particular cutout features, and this particular cutout feature, let's just do it quickly. We will select the front plane again, make a new sketch there, and quickly lay down those lines. It was something like this, and so till here. Oops, I exited the sketch. Let's go back to sketch. Okay, so now we need to add some construction lines. One is required here, and the other one is required over here. Let's give in some relations first. I want this line, control hold this line, this lines, and this line all to be vertical. I want this line, and this line, and don't miss out this one, to be horizontal. So let's give it some dimensions. So let's see what dimensions are required. Okay, so here we have 32 as this length, and is that, yes, it's 6, and 6 as its height. So this is 32, and this is 6. Okay, so let's give some relation for this. I'll say this control okay, so select this edge, control hold, select this and this line, and I'll say that they are symmetric. Now let's dimension the other parts. As you can see, this particular feature over here is 25 in length, so we'll mention this to be 25 from this to here. And another dimension 36 from the center of the tube to this edge where the slope begins. This is 36. Now just roughly, okay, so I selected another edge. Now we'll just roughly say this to be 10. I'm doing this in order to have a better understanding that we are cutting a particular material, or we are having a so I'm just dimensioning this extra bit so that this particular sketch is fully defined. As we can see that this particular line is still not okay, so it's not defined due to this. I'll say that this and this edge, okay, so this edge and this point, they coincide. Done. And now I can exit the sketch, and I will go to extrude cut, and I'll select this feature. Yes, it's selected. and instead of blind I will say through all both, so that it cuts the whole feature, the whole particular solid. And we have got a desired shape. As you can see, we have the cutout in the bottom, and we have this particular cutout over here, the angular cutouts. So our part is almost ready. We just need to create these holes. You may be wondering that why we have not made another plane out here and created this particular feature separately. That's because if you create this particular feature separately, we would have got a separation over here, since this edge is a curved. These edges are curved out here. This particular tube has a curved edge, so you may not get a desired shape and the particular joint over here of between these two faces. So it would be better off if you do this from the top view rather than from the side view. So now almost completed. Let's give some more features, and the last feature required is this holes. The hole diameter is 12. Let's create the holes. I will go again in the top plane. I'll sketch there, normal, and I'll just say that there are two random holes, and I will say that these holes are vertical with respect to the origin, and I will also say that they are equal, so I don't need to dimension them separately. Now I'll dimension this hole to be 12, and the dimension from here to this particular edge was 15. So this is 15, and obviously this will be 15. We can exit the sketch, go to features, and we can say extrude cut, and we will reverse this direction, and it's done. So our particular part is done. This is how it looks when it's completed.